Welcome to episode 21 of the League 365 podcast. I'm your host, Berger. I'm joined, as I am every week, by Jacko. On time this week, Jacko. How are you, man?
Always on time, mate.
Very good. How's your week been?
Yeah, not too bad. Yourself?
Yeah, watched plenty of footy?
I did this weekend, yeah. I didn't have too many plans, so got to watch a fair few games.
Yeah, beautiful. All right, man. You want to take us through our socials and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, guys, like every other week, give us a subscribe on YouTube, get those numbers up. It'd help us out greatly. Also, we're on Instagram, so jump on there, League365. Give us a follow. TikTok as well. Share the love around.
All right, beautiful. So today's episode, guys, is just going to be really review and preview. Review of last week's games, which have just finished, and previewing next weekend. But what I thought we might do, Jax, we've just sat upstairs and we've watched the Tigers and Para game. So we might actually start with the Tiger and Para game while it's hot on our lips.
Yeah.
What did you make of it? It was a really good game, entertaining.
Yeah.
What did you make of it?
Yeah, no, it was a good game. It's a typical footy game these days. The momentum ebbs and flows and the lead chops and changes. Para had the lead early. Tigers rescued it back. The sin bin brought, I thought, Eels back into the game late, and then they got a penalty goal late. Moses challenged the high shot from Samuel Fainu. It was high, but I didn't like the call, but that's the game we got these days. And you thought Para would get the win, but then Tigers got the ball back, and they then got a penalty, kick for goal, Jock Madden, and then extra time. The ref made the ballsy, not the ballsy call, but he made the right call. Dylan Walker offside, and Jock Madden iced the moment again, kicked the 2 points.
Yeah, summed up pretty well. The thing I took out of the game was, obviously the injuries hurt Para big time.
They were limping to the finish line there.
Yeah, they were struggling late. A couple of the calls, I thought the calls were right on the rules of the game, but the Mitchell Moses one, not good in my eyes, but the way, as you said, the way the game's ref these days, it had to get better.
Doesn't matter if he's fallen or not, or how big the player is and how small the player is. If you hit him in the head, irrelevant of the circumstances, it's probably going to be a penalty.
Yeah. All right, let's start with Para, because I'll get on the Tigers shortly. What are you making of Para? I'm really confident Mitch Moses is carrying an injury, and I think it showed last week where they had that footage. I don't know, did you see it when he skipped on his leg a few times during the game? I don't know. I'm concerned about them. What about you?
Yeah, I don't think they're playing finals footy this year. I liked them going into the year. I thought they'd be right there, knocking on the top 8. But yeah, they're not right now. They're not making the top 8 for mine. Moses, I thought he was good tonight. Yeah. Moses, but their other players just aren't given enough. I know they had no Isaiah Uyongi tonight.
And they lost the 2 most ACLs over the last night, which has hurt them. Yeah, and then
Pezic got hurt late in the game, so they had to shift. Bailey Simonson got hurt as well to a bad ankle injury, so there's going to be another injury. Yeah. They're struggling for mine.
Yeah, that was going to be the next thing I said to you, man, was the Bailey. What did you make of this Bailey Simonson injury? And do you think it was a sin bin?
No. I don't think it was a sin bin, but unfortunately where the game is in 2026, that if blokes get serious injuries, they're looking for a way to give them a penalty and a sin bin.
Well, it was a penalty. There's no doubt. He tackled him in the air. It's the old one where he went up, when he knew he couldn't get it, he wrapped the arm, and they penalise that all the time. Finding it hard to believe you're going to blame him and serious risk of injury.
No, he couldn't have done.
It was one of them things. He's just come down.
And it's just an accident,
really. That
unfortunately,
penalty, I've seen that penalty 15 times this year, where the defender has actually done the same thing, and there's never been. That's not a serious risk of injury. It's one of them. It's footy.
Yeah, unfortunately, but I think that's where the game is, where the injury plays into the penalty of the player, and Lowley copped it this week by getting sin bin.
Yeah. Okay. All right. The Tigers. They're a different side this year. We were talking upstairs when we were watching it that they're missing Jerome, obviously.
Taylor.
Their leader. They're missing their 2 starting centres in Taylor and Stafford Toa, and they're still putting in performances to be proud of. Like they were
definitely
very good. Like very good for an understrength side.
Yeah,
very good.
It looks like Benji's turning that club around with culture and effort. He's got blokes there that they're ripping him for him, and they're like some of those forwards, going really good, and Kaipi's ball, I really like the signing in the off-season. He's a great addition to that side.
Yep.
Dewey playing sevens, playing some of his best footy.
Yeah.
And even blokes like Jock Madden's slotted into that side, and he's done more than a serviceable job the last 2 weeks with Jerome out.
Yeah, Jock Madden, he's just your bread and butter play like Jack Cogger, as we spoke about upstairs. He's a similar player to Jack Cogger, but one thing he does really well, he squares up the defence. As soon as he gets it, you watch him, he just goes straight. Latu Fainu came on to exactly the same thing. It's really smart footy. A couple of blokes I want your opinion on. The fullback, to me, his roof is, his ceiling is very high. I think he's going to turn into an outstanding fullback.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised when your Tedesco's and your Edwards and, well, Walsh will always be there. He's going to be top 3 fullback for mine in a few years.
Yeah, he's definitely got potential to be really good. I like him. I think he's a good fullback. We're just got so many good ones at the moment that he's probably doesn't get the
needs time.
Yeah.
So it needs time. I'm not saying now. I'm just thinking in 2 years he's going to be right at that top echelon of fullbacks.
Yeah, he could be. Yeah, definitely.
No matter what happens, and I said this at the start of the year, they have to sign him.
Yeah.
And I think their form, the way they're playing, is helping massively in going to sign him.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Surely, if you're there now, you're thinking
This club's on the up.
On the up, because you have a look. The young winger, he's 19, Luke Lalili. He's going to turn into a really good little player.
He's going to Perth.
He is too. That's disappointing because he's a really good little player.
Yep.
But some of their forwards, Kaipi, Paul, I said early before we started the podcast what kind of signing he'd be, and he's proving it.
Yeah, definitely.
The other back rower is a gun, Samuel Fainu, absolute gun. And some of their big boppers, I'm not a fan of Terrell Mate, but Pole and Sione Fainu, mate, outstanding.
Yeah.
Outstanding. They're going, well, I think they're making, I was confident at the start of the year, I'm even more confident they're making the 8.
Yeah, they look the goods so far to make it.
They're winning games they just never would win.
Yeah, the last 2 weeks, for example, yeah.
Yeah. All right, so just before we go on to the other games from the weekend, Fergo's bash up. 2 weeks ago, the NRL come out, might have been 3 weeks ago, so don't hold me to that. The NRL came out and said they're going to cut down on players running up to the referee, getting in their face. For 80 minutes, Mitch Moses, I love Mitch Moses, for 80 minutes, he did it. Went up, throwing arms up, touches him in one...
Touched him multiple times.
Throwing arms up, screaming in his face. Nothing. What do you make of it? It's a joke.
Yeah,
Don't come out and do it. If you're going to say it, follow it up. You can't... That went on for 80 minutes.
I'm interested to see what happens with the touching, because I thought you couldn't touch him.
Well, he did touch him.
Touched him more than once.
Yeah, but even when he got the penalty at the end, he got the penalty, grabbed his face. As soon as they stopped play, he ran up.
He's the captain, though. He can run up and say challenge.
Yeah, but that wasn't the only incident. Like, there was incidents where he's up in their face, throwing his arms around, carrying on, and nothing.
Yeah, I think...
He's letting him do it.
Today was a bit of overkill, but he's the captain. He's allowed to ask the question.
He's not asking the question. He's screaming at him sometimes and throwing arms around and all that.
Yeah.
Like, to me...
Well,
I've got no issue with it, right? But they came out and said it's stopping.
I think he isolated incident today. I think he was more than in his right to question when Sean Russell, they copped the penalty for Sean Russell. He was asking, and with who was it? The forward makes the break late in the first half, and the ball gets taken out, and they say play on. And those were the two where he dragged it.
They nearly scored,
where he dragged it.
Was Jack Williams?
Jack Williams, yeah. Where he's dragged on the conversation with the ref. I have no problem with that because they're two incidents that were...
I don't like the look of it. He exerts himself, to me, he's way too over the top. You watch other games and you watch it. Tedesco's like it too, I have to say. He's like it. He's not good either. But some of the other captains don't do that. Did you ever see Isaiah Yeo doing it? Did you ever see Isaiah Yeo doing it? Yesterday, Cronulla lost the penalty count 9-2. Did you see Blake Brayley go up, hands by his side, answers the question? They lost the penalty count 9-2. Like, that's what I'm saying. It's not, but I haven't got a massive issue with it. I've got an issue with the NRL saying we're going to crack down on it, but it goes on.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that he wasn't in his right, but he was throwing arms around. He was like yelling at the ref, really. But I don't know. I just think, well, if they're going to come out and say it, we'll do something about it.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, let's move on. Let's get into these games. So what we have Thursday night would have been the Dolphins playing Manly. And again, not blowing smoke up my own arse. So I called this was coming, and it came.
Yeah.
What did you? Look, there's two sides of the story here. Let's start with the Dolphins. They were horrendous.
Yeah, some of their defensive efforts were really poor late in that game. It looked like the queue was definitely on the rack. I think late in the game they turned Ben Trebojevic under, and he cut back on the inside. And Thomas Flegler didn't even try and tackle him. He just let him go through, and he scored.
Yep.
I have no idea where the Dolphins are right now. Like, I think their attack looks awful, and that's what everyone was telling us about going into the season. Or this attack, Katoa, the hammer, Trey Fuller, even though he hasn't had many minutes.
Yeah.
But their defence last year was awful, and again, some of their performances this year has been awful.
I think it's worse, and as people probably know, I'm an attitude man, and I look at their body language. Isaiah Katoa's body language is horrific. He looks like there's... I know, I spoke to someone the other day, and he said there's got to be something going on off the field with Isaiah Katoa, and I tend to agree. He's just not right. There's something not right with the kid. I don't think it's injury, but his body language is just terrible. Terrible. But
they're not going anywhere near the 8 foot line.
Unless they can turn it around very quickly, but I can't see it. They look cooked. And they were in my top 4, so I'm in trouble there.
And Katoa Dalian. You had.
Yeah, but they've won 2, have they? They've won 2, and I reckon he points both.
He's not going near the Dalian if they continue this form.
Who's your Dalian?
Walshy?
Yeah, well...
Doesn't help these out for 8 weeks, yeah.
So, anyway, let's move on to the other mob. Now, I did mention that there was a little bit of mail around that the Trebojevic brothers were off with Seabold, and after 5 minutes when they scored the first try, I think it was Hamoli made the break, gave it to Tom, he scored under the post. The reaction of the players was like they'd won the GF.
Yeah.
They saw it straight away.
They were, yeah, definitely. The performance from the week before, some of their performances Thursday night, completely different. It just shows you that when the players want to put in for a bloke that they respect and like, they're going to do it.
Yeah.
Hamoli Okalatu hasn't been cited for the first 3 or 4 rounds.
Did you see stats the other night?
Yeah. And he was great.
Yeah. So the mail was that the senior players just couldn't have a bar of him, coming from inside the camp as well. So it was so obvious the other night. That first try, I went have a look at this. As soon as they scored, and then a few of the other tries, it got worse. The way they reacted, and it was one thing I did notice. I watched the press conference because I love watching the press conferences, and then I actually went back and watched Tom's last one with Seabold. Seabold's talking, Tom's standing there like death warmed up, not even looking, just sitting there like this. Kieran Foran spoke for about 3 minutes straight about things, and Tom was sitting there looking at him like he was looking at a god. If you've got a chance, go and look at it. Watch the Seabold one, and then watch the Foran one, and it's like, oh my god, this is ridiculous. They would have beaten anyone.
They got to back it up now.
Well, they've got to back it up. But it's got. I'm glad it's got the pressure off Foran, because if they got up there and got smashed, Foran would have been smashed all week.
Yeah.
Not smashed, but under pressure.
Yeah, definitely.
But they've got the We're keeping you up, man. Or something.
Yeah, sorry. It's Fergo's bash up.
Fergo's bash up's over.
Yeah, that was putting me to sleep.
Yeah. Okay. So Foran.
Yeah, good effort. Yeah.
I did not love Kieran Foran.
Yeah, good bloke on and off the field.
It didn't surprise. The result didn't surprise me at all.
Yeah.
So good on Manly. So let's move on. Second game, Friday night was early game.
Yeah, Good Friday.
The Good Friday game.
Bunnies and the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs.
Yeah. Okay. So let's start. You start this time. You start with who you want to start with.
We'll start with South. And I think I said it in last week's show. I think South could win and win well, and I feel like they did win well in the end. They just had too much points for Canterbury. I just thought that was going to be the problem. Like South, when they want to turn it on, they can drop 40 on you comfortably, and I just thought Canterbury won't be able to go with them here. There's more class in that South side. It was very simple. I just looked at both sides, seen how both of them were playing, and thought, well, if this is a fast track, good weather, then South is just going to have too much for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, Trell and Cody, Talis Duncan was outstanding. I thought he's just got too much for Canterbury. Like, if you look at that Canterbury side at the moment, where's their points come from? And that was the main point.
Yeah. Yeah, with South, the game said to me, I agree with you, South had too many points, but it showed me that South aren't anywhere near winning this competition. I saw plenty of chinks. The Cody Walker is right at the back end. Some of his defensive efforts, turning, he has slowed down so much. Latrell, he does the odd brilliant thing, but geez, he's lazy. If you just sat there and watched some of his efforts, he is so lazy. And the lack of a 7, like Humphries kicks the ball well, but there's too many chinks for mine. I don't think they're getting anywhere near. They might slide into the back of the 8, and that's it for me. They won that game, I felt, because the Bulldogs have just got nothing. Nothing.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think Canterbury are nothing.
Nothing. They're just as you'd like to say, they are just bad at football.
I look at their roster and over the last few years, I know they've had really good years the last couple of years. They made the 8, they made the top 4, yeah? It's great effort, great coaching by Serraldo.
Yeah.
But you look at that roster, 1 through 19 now, there's a lot of players that you'd be like, well, fuck, he's not that great.
Yeah.
But they just, the last 2 years, they've rocked up with effort, hard work, out-grinded teams and probably come over the top late in games because they're fitter than everyone. And this year, to start the year, they're leaking points. They don't look as switched on as they have the last couple of years, and they haven't got the class in the roster to be off. They're a team that needs to rock up, play 100% to their ability and effort and work for each other, and they'll be in the game.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, but like, they get nothing out of 9.
Yeah.
Right, with Bailey Haywood. I think he's a good player. He's playing out of position. Connor Tracy is just a first grade fullback for mine. He's on that fringe of not being a first grade fullback. Again, handy at a club to come in and play wing and play where it's needed. But he's not a first grade fullback in most clubs for mine. And then you look at the halves, like Birdo is good. I like Burton. Good player. But Lachlan Galvin's playing out of position as well. He's playing 7, probably not a 7, he's probably a 6 that's going to transition into probably a more of a back row lock position when he fills into his body. So where are the points coming from? Their best creative player plays centre, and he got hurt in Stephen Crichton. But I don't know what Gus and Serraldo have done over the last 12 months, because they were in a great position halfway through last year. They shipped off Toby Sexton and Reid Marnie for Galvin and Bailey Haywood to transition into this team that we're still waiting to see. Fast forward to where we are now, and they're looking to possibly bring Sean O'Sullivan in to play 7 as a saviour, who for mine is just a poor man's Toby Sexton.
He's not even that.
Yeah, like, when did Sean O'Sullivan become this superstar? He's been at about 8 different clubs.
He can't even run.
You know? I would have, if it was me, I would have kept Toby Sexton and I would have kept Reid Marnie and I would have played Bailey Haywood at 13 and off the bench.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have worried about Lachlan Galvin. As good as Lachlan Galvin probably could be, he's just not fitting into that side right now.
Yeah. All right, you summed it up pretty well. I find that the last 2 years of all the effort they've put in with no result at the back end is now showing its colours. I just think you can't continually do what they're doing, especially when they're so small. Like, Max King, how the hell he ever wore blue is beyond me. He is a slug. Sorry, he might do the 1%ers and all that, but there is zero. He just gets smashed. He runs and just gets smashed. He's like Jake Trbojevic, to be honest. That's it. There's no punch from him whatsoever. Sam Hughes is probably lucky to start in any forward pack in a competition, let alone, you know what I mean? Like that's their starting front row.
Yeah.
Like Bailey Haywood, they need to come out and go, listen, we got this wrong, because it is so obvious they got that wrong. He is not a 9. You could see it. I don't know who said he is a 9. He's not a 9. His best footy was last year, coming off the bench or starting at 13 and being that
link player,
type player in the middle.
Yeah.
Throws a nice pass, runs when he needed to run.
He's wasted a hooker.
It's a complete waste at hooker, right? And then you've got Jamin Salmon, who is just a toiler at best, small. You bring Kurt Mann on, he actually offers some footwork at least. You know, then you get to the halves. Now the halves, Burton is fine if he's got a creative, a 7 that's going to run the side, and Burton's there to kick and run the footy. You know, like he doesn't offer anything else. Galvin, look, let's just call it spade. He's so overrated. It is Herculean bad how overrated he is. Like, he's a first grader, that's it. In my book, that's it. I don't see anything with Galvin. I'll be honest. He struggles to throw spirals left to right, and right to left. He throws bullets that are actually end over end bullets, so they're hard to take. So that's why you see so many of these rockets go to ground. Where they, like, it's only because Preston's such a good player on that edge, he holds half of them. You know, like. Then we get to the centres with Crichton, who we've both agreed should be playing fullback. And to me, it's obvious. You've got to do something. If they don't do something soon, they're going to be gone.
Well, he's out with the shoulder now.
He's out with the shoulder, and they're not going to move him. It's obvious. They're not.
No, and if they do, he's going to play 6 by the looks of it, by what they did the other week.
Yeah, well, 6 is better than 3 for me. Like, he's the best centre in the game, but he's their best player by 100 yards.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm not including Viliami and Preston because they're very good back rolls, but he is their best back, and he's their most dangerous weapon by 100 yards in that back line. 100 yards. Carraz, good winger, error riddled, but he's offload and that gets him on the front foot. And you're right with Connor Tracy. Connor Tracy's not a first grade fullback. He's a perfect clubman. He's a perfect bloke to have on the bench. He's a perfect bloke when someone's out. Plug him in, but to have him at number 1, and he has played, I have to say, his form's been good. But again, when he forms good, he's still a bottom 5 fullback.
Yeah, and it's not to say he's not a good player.
No, 100% he's not a good player.
But, like, I think that his position is probably...
He's not a winger. He's not a winger. His position's bench, because he can plug so many holes.
Yeah.
You know, and if someone's out, you know, if they've got a fullback there and say he can plug in there.
Yeah, that's right.
You're not winning a competition with Connor Tracy at fullback.
No.
It's as simple as that. To me, they're cooked. The pen is through them. For me, make the 8. Gone. So, I didn't have it in my 8, but they are cooked in my book. You?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be on them right now with the form of some of these other sides that missed last year. That are looking better, like South. I have in front, Newcastle clearly in front, and the side we just watched, West Tigers clearly in front. They all missed the 8 last year.
There's plenty of sides in front for mine. So, all right, let's move on to the later game, which was just Penrith
domination.
Absolute clinic again against Melbourne. Look, I felt a little bit sorry for Melbourne. They are missing a chunk of their forwards. It was never going to be easy. It didn't surprise me, the result, to be honest.
No,
it didn't surprise you? No, it didn't surprise me. All it's done for me that game was just consolidate how far Penrith are in front of this competition at the moment.
Yeah, right now they're head and shoulders above everyone else, clearly. They just look like they run faster, they're fitter, they're scrambling defence no matter what the score, no matter what time in the game. It's unbelievable. Yeah. Looks like they don't get tired. Some of these blokes that they got are just unbelievable. Like Casey McLean at 19, the strength, he scored one try down the left edge, he palms off about 3 blokes scores. Like Tom Jenkins was playing for St Mary's in Ron Massey 2 years ago, couldn't get a run at Newcastle, and he looks unbelievable. Yeah. Paul Alamonte has had a really good couple of years there when they picked him up in the year. He's unbelievable.
He carries out of the back end.
He looked like he was cooked at Canterbury. He goes there, he's unbelievable. Scott Sorensen is so underrated. He's probably one of the most underrated players of this generation. Yep. He's outstanding.
Yep. To'o just keeps being To'o.
And then blokes again, like Isaiah Papali'i couldn't pick his feet up at West Tigers. Yeah. He goes there, he looks good. Luke Gardner looks good. The team's just, it's fucked. Yeah. We're doomed. We're doomed to the Penrith dynasty again by the looks of it. Unless something happens.
We mentioned 8 players and didn't mention the best player in the game.
Well, because I don't think we need to.
We don't need to.
We don't need to mention Isaiah Yeo or Nathan Cleary. Dylan Edwards was obviously under a massive injury last year because he's great. But they're only going to possibly lose it at Origin because they could have heaps. Like they could have heaps out.
Yeah,
like
they're going to have a shitload out.
For mine, if there's injuries, Casey McLean is right there to be picked.
I think
Tom Jenkins is right there to be picked as well for mine.
Yeah.
With that wing spot.
Yeah.
He's in front of Carraz and Mark, who were tossed up last year with Lomax. So there's a spot there. He's in front of both those boys clearly for mine.
Yeah, that's scary, isn't it?
Yeah.
But, you look at their next 5 weeks too, they should win them all. I got this feeling that
they'll lose somewhere, yeah.
Someone unexpected will beat them.
Yeah.
But the way they're playing, it doesn't matter if they're playing Melbourne or they're playing the Titans, they look the same. There's no flat.
And the sides,
with the same attitude.
The scary thing is the sides they've absolutely dominated and destroyed that they've played already are the sides people were tipping to be challengers.
Yep.
Melbourne, they just dropped 40. They just put 50 on them.
Yep.
Roosters, they put 40 on them.
Yep.
Sharks, they kept a nil and put 20 odd points on them.
We got 6, mate.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Brisbane, they kept a nil, one easy. Like they're sides people had in the top 4 competing with them.
I said the other day, Cronulla got beat 26-6, and I look back now and go, I'm actually happy with that, because we actually stuck it to them for 30 minutes. We actually hung on for a bit and looked like we were going okay. Some other sides have gone after 15 minutes. You can just see they're just gone. Like you started well against them, but when they just went bang, 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 it was gone by half time.
Yeah, that's right.
It's
they could really embarrass. They could. They're going to. They could really embarrass Canterbury on Thursday night.
All right, we do have a fan question about Melbourne later, so I don't want to touch too much on Melbourne. Worried about Melbourne?
I was worried about Melbourne going into the year. Yeah.
Let's move on to the next game, because we might spend a little bit of time on this one. It was the 3 o'clock game. It was at Jubilee, and it was the St George Illawarra Dragons 0 against the Cowboys 32, who have definitely turned the corner, the Cowboys, off that performance. And Trav, you might be back, bro, although the Tigers are still rolling nicely. Okay. Let's start with the Dragon. Now, let's start with the Cowboys. We won't spend much time on the Cowboys because I want to spend a bit of time on the Red V. But the Cowboys, they just continued on from their performance against Melbourne, I thought. And, they weathered the storm early, and then the points just come through Drinkwater and Talangi. And
yeah.
It
I thought this...
It was pretty easy.
Yeah.
Easy work.
I thought this could have been a danger game for North Queensland, coming off a really good win last week, travelling down to Sydney. Thought, you know what? This could be Dragons' first win. And fuck, I was wrong.
You were wrong too, and there's about 9 Bear Bet punters, because this show is proudly sponsored by Bear Bet, so don't forget that, guys. 9 punters down at Bear Bet that were on our podcast special of the week. And unfortunately, your leg was the Dragons, my 2 legs Lob, which were Manly and Penrith. And the 9 punters aren't overly happy with you tipping the Red V.
Oh, well, 9 mugs game. The Cowboys, yeah. Drinkwater was great. Jackson Purdue had some really silky touches. He scored a great try where
He moves well, Purdue.
He burnt poor Guffo, which unfortunately, I think...
Mate, Blake Laurie.
Yeah, it wasn't good. They just played a really, really poor football side in the Dragons. Like Cowboys were they didn't do too much wrong.
They look like they've switched. They've triggered something that's changed their attitude. They're playing with. Yeah, you can see it. They're playing for each other now, and they're starting to go well. But
Dragons really poor, really, really poor. One of the worst performances I've seen in a long time by a footy team.
I don't think I've seen a footy side. The attack is as bad, I think, as I've seen any side. Mate, it wasn't even a game where you could sit there and go, you know what, everything went against them, they had no ball. They had shitloads of ball, and they get down there and they look horrendous. All
the passes that just are behind, not on the money.
I noticed that too. A lot of Atkinson's and that passes go behind and they've got to stop and start, and then back rows. Look, their strike is their back row with Sewer and Luch on either side. Half the time they're catching the ball behind them, and their momentum stops. There was
one passage of play. King Tonga gets it down the left, and he just goes into the line. There's someone running block shape, and he just every NRL half can just do this basic play where he passes it on to his centre, and the ball just missed. I think it was a fullback swinging around. It just missed him, and by a mile. And Braden Burns. And I was just watching that thinking, this is not New South. That's not even A. You wouldn't even see that at A grade.
Yeah.
In one of the shitter comps in Sydney. Yeah. You wouldn't see it.
I'll tell you one other thing I noticed with that play, and I've summed this up about the no pace of the Dragons. Braden Burns got it. Braden Burns would be one of the slower outside backs. He's not a slug, but he's one. And there was not one bloke making ground on him.
It was Couchman, wasn't it? Was it Couchman that ran him and got closest?
I think Couchman, but
I'm pretty sure Couchman got closest to him.
yeah, I don't know.
Daniel Atkinson's kicks on 5th in the 20. Awful. This is a really bad football side. I know over the last 10 years we've seen some bad ones. Newcastle comes to mind. Canterbury comes to mind. This is right up there. This is a disgraceful football team.
This is the worst attacking side the other day, watching them attacking the 20 of the Cowboys, I've never seen worse. It is the worst I've seen. And what do they do, Jack? What do they do, Jax? Like, Kyle's back this week, which is not going to help, but he's back. And by all reports, he's going to wear the 7 this week. That's the mail coming out of the Dragons. So what happens does Atkinson go to 6? That's going to do nothing.
Yeah.
It's just changing the numbers on their back.
Well,
to me, the only option for me, and he's not going well, you did mention this to me about Val, he's not going well, but Val needs to go to 1. That's the first move. And Tyrell Sloan,
I'll be putting Tyrell Sloan on 1.
If he's got errors, you're just going to have to deal with it. But you've got to get him in just to give him some speed.
Just put Tyrell Sloan back at 1.
What do you do with Duffer? 6?
Fuck.
Lock?
Probably
he's going to move. He doesn't want to make changes. You've got to do something. And for me,
I'd be bleeding.
I'd have Sloan on the wing and I'd have Val at 1. That's what I'd be doing.
I just can't see. I just don't think you put Val there. Val's been diabolical to start the year as well. I just don't know. I think most of what they do isn't going to help them. Unfortunately.
I don't think it is, but at least
I know
at least try something.
They're trying to get.
Just keep rolling out Flanagan and Atkinson.
They're trying to get Trey Fuller down on a release from Dolphins. That'll give him a little bit of pace at least.
At least he's got X factor, and they need pace. Like Tyrell.
I think firstly Cook's got to play less minutes, and Jacob Little's got to play more. That's one thing they can do. Cause I'd be nearly bleeding the kid as well, Cade Reid. I'd nearly be giving him a chance.
Yeah, it's getting to that point where I think the fans who went nuts the other day, and had every right to be quite honest, I think they need to see a different team list, honestly, because you can't just keep throwing it out there.
You can't.
You just can't do it. So, not much they can do with the pack because that's just what they've got. I think you can tinker with the backs. I think you can. But Red V fans, it's not looking good. Okay, I've got a question for you, quickly, before we move to the next game. Do Penrith lose first, or does St George win?
St George win.
St George win. All right. Okay, let's go on to the next game, and it was the Saturday.
What a question.
It was a good question.
Fuck, it's a tough one. Yeah.
It was a good question.
Yeah.
It's coming to me too, see?
St George win. Yeah, good.
All right, so the next one was the Titans and the Broncos from Seabus. Good win for the Broncos. I thought they were in trouble when they lost all their men. When they lost Reece to the fractured cheekbone, I think it is.
Yep.
Adam Reynolds, surprise,
Hurt
again, and then we'll play next week. Or the week.
Ben Hunt got hurt as well.
Ben Hunt's done his MCL. He's out for 6 to 8. And he played with that last thing in the game, but they probably had every right to get beaten in that game when all that happened, but they steadied themselves. Titans probably made a few ordinary decisions, and Brisbane got them and held on and did enough.
Yeah, there's a really bad call in this game. AJ Brimson scores. They call it forward. The pass was back. Brisbane get the ball, go up the other end and score, and that was basically the game. That killed.
You didn't think it was forward?
No.
I didn't think it was forward. You know what's disappointing about that? It's the best pass Lachlan Ilias has ever thrown his whole career, and it got pulled back.
Yeah, that was a really bad call, and it cost them the momentum because they went down and they scored. But you got to be better. You got to be better than that.
It was a 12-point turnaround, so it was a massive call. And
yeah.
Look, I haven't found anyone said it was forward, so I
Touchdown's the most irrelevant job if they can somehow figure that out.
You just see so many forward
that they miss, and then when they make a call, they get it wrong.
One like that, like if that's not pulled up and you watch the replays, anyone even going to go?
No.
That pass was. I don't think anyone would have said it was line ball.
No.
Like it was just a great pass.
Yeah.
And the pass was also made look really good because of the run of AJ. He actually at the last second turned out to get outside, and then Lachlan had to hit that pass on the spot, and he did. But I thought it was a terrible call.
Yeah, awful.
And it was. It changed our momentum, and it would have given Titans a massive lift. So
yeah,
I
think this game is really the basic breakdown that Brisbane are just they're the premiers, and they're just a way better football side than Gold Coast.
Yeah.
Gold Coast, unfortunately, new coach, Tino commits. There was some light. Jaden Campbell commits. There's light. They're the same side. They're just all, I don't know what it is. They just suck again.
Yeah, just quickly, Kinney.
I think I brought it up.
You brought it up to me.
Yeah, we were at coffee the other week and I said it. Him under the high ball is probably the worst fullback. He drops so many balls under the like when a bomb goes up, he either misjudges his run and he just drops it cold. Like it's becoming a massive problem. Like
I'll tell you what the other massive problem with him is I don't think his form's anywhere near as good as what it was. Now I know he come off a bad injury, but I don't know.
It's time for AJ Bruns to play fullback.
Yeah.
Kinney off the bench.
Yeah.
He's just not there. His form's not good enough.
I feel he needs to go back to reserve grade and just maybe spend a month there. His form's...
It's becoming too much of a problem. Putting the bomb up.
And it's becoming a problem as well because AJ is out in the centres. Yeah, he makes a fist of anywhere he plays, but I think he needs to be the fullback. Just especially the way Kinney's playing. Make Kinney earn his...
Kinney's re-signed for long term as well.
Yeah, I know. That doesn't mean he has to play first grade just because he's re-signed long term.
No, I know, yeah.
You know, but I don't know. His confidence looks down. He's not good.
No, he's too much of a liability at the back at the moment.
I think it's time that he gets a rest. I don't think he will, but I would be tempted to rest him. Yeah, Brisbane have turned the corner, haven't they? They're going really well.
Yeah. Yep.
Really good win. Their attitude looks good. I think Payne is still carrying an injury, but he's still going great.
I thought they'd be fine. There's just too much class in that team not to figure it out. I know Walsh is out now, which will hurt a bit, but they would come September they'll be in that 8 for sure. Maybe not on the top 4, but they'll be a top 8 football side.
Yeah, well, looking at the sides, I apart from Penrith, there's no other side that I'm really sitting there going, they're going to make top 4.
No, me
either.
either.
We spoke about a couple of clubs earlier today, and I don't know. I honestly don't know. All right, let's move on to the Sunday 2 o'clock game, which was my mob, the Sharks, 36 over the Warriors, 22. Typical Cronulla performance at Shark Park. It opened up. Cronulla just did their thing, found the points when they needed. Warriors were, I thought, off the pace a little bit. I felt Cronulla had them covered pretty comfortably.
Yeah.
What did you make of this one?
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. Typical Sharks performance. Will Kennedy was really good first half. Sean Klugstad got caught out with the lack of speed that he offers out in centre.
Yeah.
Just not good enough, not quick enough to turn and change position. He got caught out a couple times on that edge. And yeah, Sharks just played better footy, controlled the ball more, I know they lost the penalty count, but they had less errors and just did enough.
Yep. Yeah, a couple of things I want to speak about here. One thing, Cronulla, do not give Will Kennedy another year until the end of the year, because every time he's off contract, this happens. His form he's been their best player this year, Will Kennedy. Leave him where he is, because as soon as I just don't want him to sign, because I just think that he's playing like a man looking for a contract. So leave that. 2, KL Hero. He was outstanding, I thought. What did you make of him?
Yeah, he was good. Yep.
He bathed Nickel Clock.
So yeah, Nickel Clock.
But he's one strong. I'll tell you one thing he's weak at. I'll tell you one. His ball running and his evasiveness and the strength to push off blokes is as good as anyone. But him trying to set someone up with 2-on-1s, he has no idea. His ability to do that, like you saw, he made a break and he had Stone Street with him and he just did not know how to set Stone Street up. But I thought his performance was outstanding. I thought Nico was really good. I actually, he's come under a lot of criticism. I thought he was really good. I think he had 6 or 7 runs in the first 20 minutes. Took them on, made a couple of line breaks, threw some really good passes, set up some tries. When he needed to kick, he kicked well. I thought it was his best performance of the year, to be honest. One thing that goes that I've noticed with Nico is his defence. His defence is really good, like for a halfback. I know
Yeah.
he's a big body. Very rarely misses, and on his line, he's very good on the line.
Yeah.
Make one-on-one tackles on the back rows. So it's one strength that I don't think people see. I thought Jesse Colquhoun was outstanding. Both back rowers were really good.
Siffer.
Siffer was great when he come on. I don't know what it is, but I feel there's something missing. I don't know. I'm still not sold on them.
No, I have no idea what we're going to get from Cronulla.
I don't. And someone in commentary said it. I can't remember who it was, and I think they're right. They're hard to read because they either win big or lose big, and they're probably right. Like when they win, they seem to win big. When they lose big.
Yeah.
So no read on them whatsoever.
Yeah.
It won't surprise me if they go over and beat the Roosters comfortably, but it won't surprise me if they get beat 40-10. I just don't know. So, quickly, alarm bells at all?
Not alarm bells. This is not a good match. Like, I think they're going to be more of a home side. I know they rocked up and lost, to West Tigers last week, but a day game at Shark Park where Sharks are generally really good at home. It's not set up for Warriors, I don't think. No, I don't think alarm bells yet. I thought a couple of performances that were really poor. Charles Nickel-Cook said wasn't good. RTS was really bad. RTS was really bad as well.
Some bad misses in defence.
Yeah. I think, like we said at pre-season, they might need to inject some speed into that back line. They got Lofi Pereira there sitting in Rezzies. Maybe he works his way in.
Yep.
Metcalf gets hurt. And they were going better with Chanel Harris-Tavita and Tannen Boyd. So we'll see what happens now. But yeah.
You took the words out. When Metcalf's fit, what's their best halves combo?
Depends how they're travelling.
Yeah, I think...
Probably Metcalf is there. He's got to be there, yeah.
And Chanel. I think Chanel needs to be there because I think he's just a 6 and I think he's really solid on that side of the field.
I don't think Tannen Boyd and Metcalf work.
No.
But if Warriors, if Chanel Harris-Tavita comes back in, Warriors start winning again, you can't bring Metcalf back in after what we've just seen. They'll fly in the first 3 weeks.
I think we nailed it. I think he needed to go and spend some time, just get some confidence back. He's not playing with confidence. The 2 games I've watched, he's hesitant. You can see it, and I don't blame him because coming off an ACL and with his footwork and speed, it's obviously going to be in the back of your mind.
Yeah, definitely.
So I felt he needed some games in the reserves to get some confidence back, and I think that's what they need to do when he comes back from the hammy.
Yeah,
so
that's fair.
All right, let's move on. Knights, Raiders, and Newcastle. How good are the Knights, mate? The best thing I took out of this was the Dominic Young try at the end when the game was over anyway, and the crowd in the background. How good it was.
He should have never have left Newcastle.
Never have left Newcastle.
He's a different player in Newcastle.
Yeah, it was like Joe Burgess should never have come to the NRL and gone to the Roosters.
He should have never.
Ryan Hall should never have come from the Super League and gone to the Roosters, and Dominic Young should never have gone to the Roosters.
Yeah.
But that last try and the scenes in the background of the Knights fans, mate, so good.
Yeah.
I love the Knights.
Yeah, I do as well.
How do you not like the Knights? Like, you want the Knights to go well, and seeing that,
Frizzell's playing out of his skin as well. Some of these old blokes, Frizzell, Gags, Dan Gagai.
Gagai, you're talking about Hero giving clocks out of bath. Well,
he gave Sanders.
Probably got the ball. He just went down that right side, and there was a time someone got stuck out there. Was it they got a bin, didn't they?
Yeah, it was Sanders was out there, and he burnt him twice, 2 sets in a row.
Yeah, we'll get Ethan Sanders shortly. But the Knights, man, how good? They're just going great. Fletcher Sharp looked great. He's still carrying that injury. So you watch him in the background. He's limping. Fletcher Hunt's going great at the back. Sanders steering the ship really well, even though he bombed 2 tries.
Sanders,
just playing.
He's so handy to have, Sanders Smith, for mine.
Hugely handy to have. He's probably a different type of player, kind of Tracy, but he's the perfect bloke. When Brown and Ponga come back, he's the perfect bloke to sit on the bench. Perfect.
Yeah.
He can give your 9 a rest, like you've crossed on a rest. He can come on there. There's an injury in the halves. He's popped in there and just gets the job done. He's perfect for it. Great signing.
Yeah, fantastic.
Great. At the moment, one of the better signings. Haven't spoke about good signings. He'd be right up there at the moment. Right up there. Because they wouldn't be where they are without Sanders.
No, definitely not.
Yeah. Gamble would have been in there.
Yeah, that's right. We looked at some of their players they had in that side pre-season. And I think I said to you, they're going to surprise people this year. I didn't think they'd be a top 8
You
side.
said that?
Yeah, go back. They'll surprise people. I didn't have them down the bottom.
Yep.
I think there's a serious football side there.
I think
building.
there is. Well, Bradman, they've lost a few again here because Bradman Best has gone again. He's done
he's hurt.
a groin, did he do?
Yeah, groin.
And they're saying a month, so that's... But they've handled it. But look, I'd have to say Dylan won't be far away. I wouldn't be surprised if he's named this week, Dylan Brown. Because it was, he did the MCL, but it wasn't bad, was it? So he I don't think he'll be far away. Who they got this week, do you know? Anyway, we're going to go through we're going to preview the game anyway. We'll get to it when we get to it. But Canberra.
Alarm bells. Ring the alarm bells. Smack that alarm bell.
Yeah. Okay.
I had them missing my 8 this year, and they don't look like they're nowhere near the footy side they were last year.
I've got to be. I had them at 7th in mine. I haven't got them cooked yet, but changes need to happen. The Ethan Strange going to the right side of the field, which I mentioned last week, is not working. They need to move him straight away. He has to go back to the left. Ethan Sanders, in my book, I know he won that game from him at Brookvale. He's not a first grader. His efforts in defence were horrendous yesterday. Some of his options, kicking it dead, kicking out the full, it was a horrendous performance from him. And he's been ordinary. Even in that Brookvale, he got away with the Brookvale performance because he kicked the winning field goal.
And scored the try.
It's not working. Ethan Strange, who was arguably the best 5'8" in their game last year, got down the M5 of the year, and he's now on the other side of the field. It is not, it's clear as mud, it's not working. He's not looking, I know he set the first try out, not looking anywhere near as dangerous on that side of the field. So much easier to defend because he doesn't have the right footstep. And he's stepping away from the defence. They've got to change it. And I know they did it because last year that side of the field got ripped up defensively, but
they're getting ripped up defensively anyway.
But what it's doing, it's taken away from their attack. They've got no points in them. They can't score. They're struggling to score points. So the first move, look, I'd be tempted, and I know this is because I don't think they've got another halfback in the club that's ready to play first grade. Can you think of anyone?
Well, they've got Kobe Black. I don't know if he's ready, but...
Yeah, well, don't know if he's ready, but I don't know what they do, but all I know is they have to get Strange onto that left side of the field. No matter what else they do, I don't know what they do. But
they need to fix their defence. I'm just going back. They leaked... What they leaked? 32 to Newcastle, 34 to Cronulla, 14 to Canterbury, which is fucking heaps when you're playing against Canterbury. 40 against New Zealand and 28 against Manly. Too many points. Yeah. Too many points. They need to fix up their defence.
What else is going wrong though? Because it's gone from the penthouse to the shithouse, to be quite honest.
Yeah, last year, this is what I've taken away, and this is why I had them missing my 8.
Yeah.
Last year, they had a really favourable draw. They did have to stand in to get minor premiership. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. They had a really good draw, and they were winning games where the result was in the balance for the majority of the game, and they were just seeming to get not the rub of the green, but they were riding this wave of momentum where if the game got into the balance, they were going to win it.
Yeah.
They were just going to
find
a way to win.
Yeah.
And you can't do that every year.
Yeah.
And when the tables turn and you lose the close games, you're going to be down the bottom.
Yeah.
So they were in too many games last year where I thought this result could go either way.
Yeah.
Heaps.
Yeah.
If you do that again and you run the risk of being in contests with 5 minutes to go, 10 minutes to go, and you start losing these games, it's the difference between making the 8 and not making the 8.
Yeah. So some of the things I took out of the game, took out of Canberra, the biggest changes, one is Tomoko's not there, which is fine in my book, because Sasangi's actually been probably there.
Yeah, I thought he's been very good.
The big things I found is, the biggest one's Strange. I think he has to move, as I've just said. Second, Papali's, you wouldn't even know he's out there. He's like, I don't know if it's past him. I don't know if he looks like he's fallen off a cliff. Third thing, Jaden Brayley come on and actually made a few decisive runs. Did you notice he come on? Now, if that's Owen Paddy, he's into the backfield with his speed. So Owen Paddy's not there, right? And when Jaden Brayley come on, the game was still alive. He made half little busts in behind the ruck. Now, Owen Paddy, with his speed, would have actually got into the backfield. So I feel that Strange got to go back to his left side. Two, Papali maybe back to the bench and start Mariota. Corey Horsburgh's a slug.
Yeah, he's struggling. Yeah.
If anyone raps Corey Horsburgh to me, turn it up. Like, seriously. And KO Weeks needs to... he's not anywhere near as dangerous as what he was last year. So I think, to me, I'm getting Paddy back into the 17. I'm getting Strange to the left. They're the two big things that I'm doing. So it's probably not going to change everything. There's obviously other issues going on because that game there, they should have been winning.
Yeah, I agree. They've got a massive challenge this week. They've got to travel over the Perth, play South.
Yeah. All right, so that was the roundup of the week. So we've already done the game we just watched upstairs. And let's go now into round 6 of the NRL Premiership. And it starts on Friday night. And it is the Bulldogs versus Penrith.
Yeah. This is one-way traffic for mine.
Yep.
This is another Penrith flogging.
Mm-hmm.
Unless something... Well, no, I can't even say it unless something drastically happens, dramatic happens. There's going to be no Stephen Crichton. This is Penrith by plenty.
Yep. That's it?
That's it.
Okay. All right, so I'm just going to quickly go through the prices. Bear Bet early days are $5.50 Canterbury and the Penrith Panthers are $1.15. On form, could not see this going any other way, but a Penrith win. You think Penrith win comfortably, Jax?
I do.
On form?
It has to. There's only one option. Especially you take their best player out and Stephen Crichton, he's not going to play. Bronson will come back in. This just has to be, this has to be a Penrith win and win well.
Are we going to see Sean O'Sullivan in this side this week? Are we going to see Burton shift to centre?
Well, the mail is that Bronson Cherry's going to come in and play centre.
Well, that's got to happen. Like, seriously, Sean O'Sullivan is garbage.
He's not, if you're banging on, respectfully to Sean O'Sullivan, if you're banging on him to be your saviour, your team's already cooked.
Well, he's half the player Toby Sexton wasn't.
That's what I mean.
Toby Sexton was just a fair first rate.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, Sean O'Sullivan is a pedestrian in my book. Absolute pedestrian. So, it was so the other night when he come on and they made all them changes on that left edge, they just ripped them apart.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, I'd love to...
They were in front and...
Yeah, and they changed that edge. And I'm wondering if it was South's leaders that went there or the message come down from Bennett. Get at that edge.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to know. All right, so we've both got Penrith winning comfortably. There's really not much else to say. I can't even see the Bulldogs. I think it's just 13 plus written all over.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the Friday night game. This is a real interesting one. When I looked at the draw, I thought this is interesting. It is the Dragons at home to Manly. Now, the Dragons are $2.46, Manly are $1.55. What do you make of this one?
I'm going again.
Red V.
Dragons get their first win of the year. Surely there's got to be a response, especially from that senior playing group at Dragons. Surely they get together this week and they say, we can't dish up another bad performance to our home crowd. Surely there's going to be a response.
Is it an effort, though? Is it effort with them?
It's a bit
or is it ability?
I think it's both. It's mostly ability.
I look at Manly, right? When they turned it around, you look at they've got ability.
True.
They have Tom. They've got Collar. I know Brooks, but on his day, Brooks is okay. You know, they've got Hermoli. They've got
hang on.
strike.
I take it back. Dragons. I'm on Manly.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. I don't think Dragons don't have the ability.
There needs to be a better performance, but they can't go out there at home and get get beat by 20 again and kept to nil.
Yeah. I know one thing that's ringing true in my ears at the moment, that game in Vegas, I know it was like 6 weeks ago, the Bulldogs Dragons, that form line is awful from that game.
From both.
Awful from that game. So from both sides, that's what I'm saying, the whole form line out of that game is horrendous.
Yeah.
But with what you're saying, I think they'll put in, but I know it's worrying, but I feel like they've been putting in anyway. So I don't know if they can turn it around and find the points they need to beat Manly.
Yeah.
You know, as I said, Manly had the artillery.
Thank God this is a 6 p.m. Friday game because that's an absolute stinker of a game.
Yeah. Is it in Wollongong or is it?
Yeah, it's in Wollongong.
I'm
interested to see if Manly can back up their performance from last week.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's about it.
I think they will.
Yeah.
I think they will. One thing I didn't talk about Manly when they won the other night was when Kohler went to fullback when Tom went off. It just made it even clearer that, to me, Kohler, I know he's signed a long-term deal at Manly. I think he signed that deal to be fullback when Tom pulls the pin. That's why they've signed him such a long-term deal. He went to fullback, and he is a fullback. Like, he's a gun centre, but he could be a super fullback. And I think that's the plan. I think he is the plan to go to full. It won't surprise me, actually, like, deeper Tom goes, eventually he'll probably, they'll swap. I think he'll slide, because the writing's on the wall. A few times when they're attacking, Kohler goes to fullback, and Tom goes to left centre.
Yeah.
So I think the writing's on the wall, but mate, some of his touches and how he explodes through tackles is as good as anyone, Kohler.
Yeah.
I can't see. I'm like the first game. I think better 155 Manly. I think it's a good price. I just can't see how they won't win.
Yep.
I don't think the foreign thing is a one-off. I think they'll be playing for him now. I think Manly and Morals. I think they'll just win and win comfortably. All right, let's move on to the derby at Suncorp here, and I know there's been early money here for the Cowboys in this game. Obviously, just because
the injuries,
Brisbane's issues. If it was in Townsville, I think I'd be tipping the Cowboys, but I'm not writing Brisbane off here.
Who's going to play halfback?
It's $1 million question. Who's going to play halfback?
If Reynolds and Hunt are out.
Yeah, well, it looks like Jesse Arthurs will go to 1. In my opinion, what they'll do is I think they'll move Staggs. I think Ezra will play 7 and Staggs will play 6. That's what I think they'll do. I don't think they'll bring... I think Josh Lewis... Not Josh Lewis, that's your ninth cousin. What's the bloke's name? Josh, the big, tall...
Josh Rogers.
Josh Rogers. Josh Lewis. You getting Josh on the show? Josh Lewis?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I know. Surely he got his number.
Yeah.
Jack told me one day.
He is.
When I first met Jack 12 years ago, he said to me, "Oh, Josh Lewis is my cousin." I went, "Oh, fair dinkum." Was he playing at that point?
Nah, I don't think he was playing. Yeah.
And he goes, "Yeah, well, I think he is. I think he's about my 8th or 9th cousin."
No, it's not that far.
So anyway, Josh Rogers, I was thinking. So he's the only one.
Is Walters at the club?
Billy? Yeah, but he did his ACL.
Oh, right, yeah.
So he's not back. So he'd be the only one. Kobe Black's gone. Jock Madden's gone, who was there last year as well. So me, without knowing what's Josh
Rogers.
Josh Rogers is awful. So to me, the only options I have is that option or Corey Pace. But Ben Hunt.
I'm liking Cowboys here.
You are?
Yeah, with no Walsh and Ben Hunt's definitely going to be out.
Yeah.
Reynolds, they think he will be out, but you never know with Reynolds.
Well, I think Reynolds will probably play, but have you ever seen a player that
gets hurt
down, goes off, and either plays the following week or the week after? Reynolds?
Nah, he does it a lot.
What the 2 weeks ago he went off with a rib and looked like he was cooked, and then nearly played.
Yeah.
And it's happened again.
Yeah. The Cowboys can really turn their season around big time if they can get a win up here on Friday night. They'll go to 4-2 after a terrible start. All of a sudden they're
4-2.
They will if they win this week.
They haven't won 4 games.
No, they'll be 4-2 if they beat Brisbane.
They haven't won 3 games.
Yes, they have.
Who have they beat?
I'm looking at it right now.
Who have they beaten?
They won on the weekend. They beat the Gold Coast. They beat Melbourne. They're 3-2. I'm looking at it right now. Yeah.
I thought they'd only won 2.
No, they beat Gold Coast. They beat Melbourne.
So they lost their first 2 and then won their next 3. Is that what happened? Okay. They beat the Gold Coast.
Yeah. Yeah.
What up there?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they did too. And then they beat Melbourne. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So if they can get the win, they turn their season around. And I'm going to tip North Queensland. I just think no Walsh, no Hunt, and I'm banking on no Reynolds. Too big of outs for mine.
Yeah, we're doing this podcast a day early. We usually like doing it after team lists, but we haven't got the team lists at the moment, obviously. I think if they go the Staggs combo in the half, Payne Haas still there. As long as Payne Haas is there and Carrigan, he's one I haven't spoken about. He's going so good, Pat Carrigan. He's playing so well. But anyway, off that, I'm tipping Brisbane. I think Brisbane can get it done. only because it's at Suncorp. That's the only reason I think they can get it done. All right, so let's move now on to the Saturday game, and it is the 3 o'clock game, and it is South Sydney with Bearbet are $1.50, and they're playing the out of form and in trouble Canberra Raiders with more injury problems at $2.58 at Accor.
No. They're playing in Perth.
They're playing in Perth. Is it called Accor in Perth? No,
It's called Optus.
Perth. Yeah, that's right.
There's a double header in Perth.
About that. I just saw the home game. I was just thinking it'd be at Accor.
Yeah.
I thought it was Perth. And the Rabbits are $1.50, and the Canberra Raiders are $2.58. How do you see this one, Jack?
I see a South Sydney win. Again, I think Canberra's form's been really poor, and South, I think, are doing enough in games to show me that they'll beat Canberra. I think, again, they'll have too many points. Canberra have been defending really poorly. I think Tallis Duncan and Jack White will be out on that right edge, which has been the side that has been causing problems for Canberra defensively, and I think that they'll just have too many points for Canberra, and I think Canberra's season will be on the line in the next couple of weeks.
They'll be 1 and 5 if they lose that.
With a trip to Melbourne the following week.
I'm going to tip the upset here. I'm going to tip Canberra. Only reason I think it's now or never. To me, their season's gone if they lose this. Because you know what? You look at who they've played, they've lost games that they would have expected to win. So it's not like they've played good sides and been beaten and are out of form and can find a good run. To me, if they lose this, it's season over. I think 1 and 5, I think they're done. So I think it's now or never. I'd like that Ricky make the change, put Ethan back on the side he wants to play on. And I don't know about South. I'm not sold on South. They were good the other day, and I'm hearing you. They might find enough points to beat Canberra, but I think if Canberra can find something, I think they could maybe surprise South and cause the upset here. But no confidence, honestly. I'm just tipping them because I just think it's now or never for Canberra.
Yeah, I think South will be too good.
All right, so the second game over there in Perth, which is the 5:30 game, that's the battle of the League 365 podcast hosts. I've probably had the better of it lately. Cronulla versus the Roosters. We knocked you out when we knocked you out last year. We knocked you out.
Yeah, you did.
Did we beat you during the year as well? I'm trying to remember if we did.
Yeah, you did last year. You did.
We beat you at Shark Park as well. So I've probably had the better of it lately. Overall, you've probably had the better of it. But so in this game, it's Cronulla coming off back-to-back wins. $1.96 against the Roosters at $1.88 coming off the bye, which is pretty important here, I find, that are coming off the bye for the Roosters, and probably getting a few blokes back. They'll get Victor back because he's back from suspension, and Spencer.
He's got to be close.
I saw him training. He looks ready to go. So I'd be surprised if he's at least not named. So, and if they name him, they'll be playing.
Yeah.
Cronulla probably with a few injury concerns. Jesse Ramien's definitely done an MCL, so he's going to be gone for 6 to 8 weeks, I reckon. And Britt Nakora has picked up a shoulder issue as well, so I would be very surprised if he plays. Brayden Ueli also got a head knock in for Newtown, so he's got the 11-day standout, and even Michael Gabriel, who would have come into contention for that centre spot, he's also hurt, so he's also gone. So Cronulla carrying a few little bumps and bruises and have to travel to Perth for a fresh Roosters. How do you find it, mate?
Yeah, I think Roosters coming off a bye, had extra travel over to Perth. They get Spencer hopefully back. They get Victor definitely back. I think they'll just be a bit more fresh. And I think underratedly coming off that bye into the Perth trip is going to help them massively.
Yeah, I do agree. It's a concern. I think the key to this game is defence for Cronulla. I think the way that Cronulla can beat the Roosters is defensively, but I don't think they're defending well enough at the moment. Because even when they won in Canberra, they leaked over 20, and they leaked over 20 the other night to the Warriors. I don't think they're defending. I think the points are there for them. And usually when you go over there, you get a hard surface. It's high scoring, which I think favours Cronulla. But the only way I think Cronulla can win this game is if they defend the best they have all year. And I just worry that they're just not defending the way they can. Which concerns. I think if they do defend, I don't think the Roosters have got enough ammo apart from Tedesco to worry Cronulla, but I just don't. I think the defence is concerning me with Cronulla leaking. Even winning, they're just outscoring the other team at the moment, Cronulla.
Yeah.
It's not like the Cronulla of old where they just defend their way to victories. They're going, well, if you're going to score 24, we're going to score 34. And that's how they're winning their games. And I don't know if they can do that here against the Roosters.
Yeah, I'm tipping Roosters. Surprisingly.
I'm tipping Cronulla, but total, it's just my heart. What did you say when do we can tip?
You can give your opinion on who you think can win differently to your team, but you can never tip in a tipping comp against your team. That's my method.
Oh, okay. I'm going to stick with your method then. I'm going to tip the Roosters, but I'm going to tip Cronulla in our tipping comp. Which we've got to check the results, so we'll do that at the end. Okay, let's move on to the Saturday night game, which will be Melbourne v the Warriors down in Melbourne. This one's...
This is a big game for both teams.
Yeah, so we've got Melbourne at $1.47 with the boys from Bearbet and the Warriors at $2.71. Okay, this is a really tricky one, and without seeing team this season, I see Melbourne get anyone back.
Well, Kamikamifa won't be back.
Well, he definitely...
Xavier Coates won't be back.
Xavier Coates won't be back. Well, what about Moses Leo and there's a few others?
Yeah.
Sean Ball play the other one?
No, he didn't play. He's been out as well.
Yeah, so Alec McDonald didn't play either, did he? He did play.
No, he didn't play.
No, I didn't think he did. So a couple of them would help. This is a tough one.
Yeah.
A really tough one. I might start here. Melbourne's they've lost 3 straight now. I'll be tipping Melbourne just because in my wildest dreams I can't lose 4 straight, especially when that 4th one's in Melbourne. But I feel there's a response coming from the Warriors. I think there'll be a response coming this week. I think Chanel will go back to 6. I think they'll make a hell of a difference. I know Chans went off with the head knock, so he won't be playing. But I do think, he's bottom 5 fullbacks in the comp chance, but I think he needs to be their fullback. I don't think Tane's too peaky. He's got a bit of flair in that. I just don't think he's the answer. I prefer Chans back there just being rock solid, but it won't be this week. So I still think there's some question marks with the Warriors, but I think they'll respond. They always seem to play well down in Melbourne, but I just think now I just can't see Melbourne losing 4. So I'll tip them Melbourne.
Yeah, I think this will be a cracker of a game. Both teams coming off a couple of losses. They're going to look to turn their season around and find that early season form, weeks 1 and 2. I just got to go Melbourne because, again, I agree. I don't think that they'll be able to lose 4 in a row, especially a home game down there. Yep. But I give Warriors every chance, but I'm tipping Melbourne.
Still no Barnett too, which is a big out.
Yeah. Yep. Should be a good game.
They've lost Metcalf with the hammy, which probably doesn't... I think Chanel's your 6, and then you plug the 7, whoever's going there better.
Yeah.
And in form as a player, it's definitely Metcalf. But at the moment, I think probably Tanner and Chanel probably the answer.
Yeah.
Anyway, so all right. So let's nothing else on that one.
No.
Okay, let's skip to the Sunday game. We're coming off a disappointing loss, but
today.
Courageous loss to the Eels at $1.64. Played the Gold Coast Titans at $2.25, and this is at CommBank. Yeah, I'm struggling to be able to tip the Gold Coast. I just think the way they're going, I thought when I watched them in the trials at the start of the year, I thought, you know what, I thought I saw something different. But you're right, they're the same old Gold Coast of old. There's nothing different about them. And if they did make the change if Teamless Tuesday comes out and Brinson's at 1 and they make a few subtle changes, I think it could make a difference. It could spark them. But I just don't think he'll make the change. I think Kinney will be fullback, Grimson will be the centres, and it'll be Campbell at 7.
Yep.
So I just think the Eels coming off the disappointing loss. Yeah, it would have been a heartbreaking loss, but I think their effort was there.
Do they get Ione back next week?
I'm not sure. I don't think so. I'm pretty sure I heard him say that Papali's going to be fullback for a few weeks. So I doubt it. They've lost Sean Russell. He'll be gone.
They've lost Bailey Simonson as well.
They've lost Bailey Simonson. I don't know where Will Penasini's at. I'm not sure. We haven't seen Will Penasini. So they're going to be a bit light out wide. And Josh Adokar copped the knock early in the game. I'd say it was a rib cartilage. And I'm tipping they've needled him up at half time to get through because he looked in a world of trouble early. Yeah. So he might be in some doubt.
Janet Pezza came off.
We haven't even touched on Janet Pezza. Jonah Pezzett. Again, I made comments about Jonah Pezzett and Mitchell Moses' combination at the start of the year. I made comments about it last week. Are you seeing now what I was seeing at the start?
Yeah. I think Jonah Peasant's a 7, isn't he?
He's a 7.
Yeah.
He's a 7, and Moses is controlling everything. So you need a 6. You need a running 6. With Moses, the running 6, when Dylan Brown was there, that's when Dylan Brown played his best outside Mitchell Moses, because he was the perfect foil. Jonah Pezzett is a 7, and that is it. He's not a 6 to play outside Mitchell Moses, and he needs to pull the trigger on it, because it's not working. And it's blatantly obvious it's not working. There was a play tonight's game. There was a second tackle, he's kicked it dead, put a grubber in on the second. You know, what's probably because he's not playing his natural game. When he gets it, he's probably trying to do something.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's not working. They need to change it. I don't think they will, but they need to change it.
Yeah.
I nearly just talked myself out of Parramatta, with all them injuries. I don't know. What are you thinking here?
I'm thinking the same. I'm thinking, but if Para want to do anything this year, they got to win this game. If they don't win this game, their season's...
Let me stop you there. They're not doing anything this year. They've lost too many... They were short in the forwards as it was. They've lost 2 on top of that. The halves are not working. They've lost outside backs now. What Simonson, they said dislocated ankle. Well, he would have done syndesmosis as well, because it was a horrific ankle, the way his ankle got. He's gone. Sean Russell's, well, that's no loss, but they're not going anywhere, Parramatta. They are gone. Their season's over, before it started. So, you know what? I'm changing. I'm tipping the Titans. I'm just tipping the Titans.
I can't.
That just worried me, all the injuries.
Yeah, that's a big concern. But I can't tip to the Gold Coast.
Okay, so you're tipping Para?
But this will be a close game.
I'm tipping Gold Coast. What do you reckon the market? I thought Para might have been a little bit shorter, but...
what are they, $1.70?
$1.64?
No, they can't be any shorter. Not with the blokes they got out.
Yeah, fair enough.
Especially if Isaiah Papali'i, what's the young bloke name? Josiah Papali'i. He was carrying an injury late in the game. If he don't play as well...
Yeah, well, if he doesn't play, I don't know what they do. So,
that kid who scored... that kid who scored 2 tries.
Tidwell, something, yeah.
Twiddle.
Yeah. What about the put down?
Yeah, very good.
Very good first try to keep on the record books.
100%.
Yeah.
Very good first touch.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so I'm tipping the Titans. Jacks are sticking with the blue and gold army. Let's move on to the last game of the round, which is the 4 o'clock Sunday game. And it is the red-hot West Tigers playing the red-hot Newcastle Knights. This is a cracking 4 o'clock game.
Yeah.
At Campbelltown, I think. Would that be right, Jacks?
Campbelltown, yep.
At Campbelltown. You know what? They should fill it. They should fill it for this game. Now, West Tigers fans, Campbelltown is their hoodoo ground. They just go awful there. Get out there. Pack it out, because I'm telling you, the Knights fans will come in droves down that freeway. The added spice here is if Dylan Brown returns.
When's Luai back?
Well, he did the injury after Dylan Brown, and it was similar grading. Right. So I'm thinking that there's no way Luai's back but players do recover quicker than others. But I'd be surprised if we saw Luai. I won't be surprised if we see D Brown in 23 or something. It won't surprise me one bit.
Yeah. Who would have thought pre-season round 6, West Tigers Newcastle be nearly the game of the round?
Yeah. So this is the funny thing, right? If you looked at this game, that you would have been thinking, why the hell have they put West Tigers Knights on at 4 o'clock on a Sunday?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
You'd be thinking, what are they thinking? Well, I don't know if they've just got lucky. Well, they've just got lucky.
Yeah.
But this is a cracking game.
Yeah, definitely.
Cracking game. Okay, so West Tigers, at a stretch, they'd get Luai back, but I doubt it very much. I think the way they're going, you're not going to risk him anyway.
No.
If it was 95% and you're thinking, will we or won't we, I'm thinking you don't.
No.
He's supposed to be the way Jock Madden's getting the side around the park. He's just doing everything right. And I commented in the last 10 minutes, he's playing 7 and Dewey's just running.
Yeah.
And there was a play right at the end when they nearly scored. It was when Taruva nearly scored. Madden went straight into the line, opened it up, gave it to Dewey, and Dewey just ran straight through the hole that Jock had created by just playing square.
Yeah.
And he was doing all the kicking, he was directing the side around, and Dewey's playing off the back of it. So it's working. I think I find him hard to beat again. I think in front of 25,000 there, I want to be on the West Tigers.
Yeah, so do I. I like what Newcastle been doing off the back of Sandon and Fletcher Sharp, but I think Sunday Arvo, Campbelltown, big crowd. I think Tigers got a lot of momentum going at the moment. They're doing a lot of things right, and I think they'll just be too good for Newcastle, but in a close one, in a cracker, I think.
Yeah. It'd be good to see Dylan play. It would just spice up the game a bit more if he comes back.
Yeah.
Well, it will.
Yeah, of course. But Sandon and Fletcher Sharp have been doing more than a handy job.
Oh, well, Fletcher Sharp's... he's not right. He even said it in the interview that the league's not right. And it's like, he actually mentioned Reece. This is what happened with Reece last year when he did the PCL. They can play because they say the injury can't get any worse, but it still hurts to play. And Reece was limping for 6 weeks when he was playing. And Fletcher was doing it the other night. When he kind of run in straight lines, he was fine. But when you saw him trying to move laterally, you could see he was not right, kind of right. And then you'd see him walking in background and you could see him limping. So he's not right, but he's still dangerous. Like, dangerous. The bloke at the back, that dangerous in the air, it's not funny. Like, he can...
Fletcher Hunt, he's great,
now from anywhere. Gagai's in career best form. They've lost Bradman too. It's a big loss. So I'm not sure what they'll do there. Just thinking who they might have. They've got that young... dark-haired kid, Kyle McCarthy, I think his name is.
He'll probably come in
unless they shift. They take a risk and shift a back rower, like shift Dylan Lucas out there or something like that.
No, Jermaine McEwen will go out there before.
Jermaine McEwen.
But Kyle McCarthy will probably come in.
The only reason I said Dylan Lucas, he plays on the left.
I just don't think you take away from what Dylan...
I don't know if they move McEwen from the right to left centre.
I think that the Kyle McCarthy bloke will come straight in.
He'll probably come in. I don't think there's any other options that I can think of. Maybe missing someone, but I can't think of anyone else. But I think with the out of Bradman, with it being at Campbelltown, I think the Tigers will be thinking we're back at home. Let's give them, and their record being so poor there, they want to turn that around. I'm tipping the Tigers. I'm tipping the Tigers reasonably confident too.
Yeah, I'm tipping Tigers.
Yeah. All right, so that will wrap up the round for next weekend. Now we do have some fan questions we're going to whip through here. We start with Archer Queen, one of our trusty fans that always writes into us. So thanks, Archer Queen. And of course, it's a Melbourne question, and it's as simple as this: what is going on with the Storm?
Too many injuries to start with. Got a lot of blokes out. And that was going to be their question mark this year. The depth of the club coming through. Everyone knows they lost Nelson, they lost Pappenhausen, and they lost the back rower, Elliot Qatar. On the back of that already, they've copped injuries. Coates, Jack Howarth, Tui Kamakamitha. And I said it, I'm going to keep saying it. No one's scared of Melbourne anymore. Yeah. You know, these players they've got players that are coming in now that are probably not really up to first grade yet, and they've just been thrown in there because of the injuries, and the depth of the club's been tested. I wouldn't be too worried about them. They're still a good football side. I think they'll still be in the 8 come the back end of the year, but they're not the Melbourne of old. No. It's simple for me.
No, yeah. I wouldn't be too worried, Archer Queen, to be honest, because I think Jack's hit it on the head. It's injuries that's done it. Like, you look at that list of injuries, Howard's a big one that's gone probably under the radar. You know, and losing Ellie didn't help. Sean Bloor hasn't been there. Alec McDonald was out. They've lost Tui. There's a hell of a lot of injury, you know. But unfortunately, they're not winning this premiership. There's too many outs. Like, if they lose Kamakamitha for the year, which I don't think they have come out and said...
Surely he's going to be out for a while, but...
He's going to be out for ages, you'd have to think. You'd probably think someone having a stroke... there's probably a range of strokes that people can have. It's obviously on the lighter side. I think it had something to do with was it a cyst?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
So, look, they've still got that gun spine. But again, Suo at the back, he's been found out in these tougher games for mine a little bit. Like, he needs time.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that. You can see what he's like when that game opens up. He's going to be as dangerous as any player in the comp with ball in hand. But when it's the tight struggle, he's still not. It's probably the experience he lacks. But they're not winning this premiership in my book. At the moment, no one's winning it but Penrith.
Yeah.
But, I wouldn't be too worried about Melbourne just If they get more injuries, though, I'd be very concerned.
Yeah, if a spine member goes down, Harry or Hughes or Munster, they're in a world of trouble.
But hang in there, Archer Queen. I don't think it's all doom and gloom just yet. Okay, so now from Yeet Katie. Katie likes to put Yeet in front of it.
Oh, does she?
That's a WWE thing.
Yeah, right.
So
Oh, yeah.
he does this Yeet thing. She loves WWE. She told me on a text before. So WWE. WrestleMania. Next week. 2 weeks. WrestleMania.
Yeah, right.
Roman Moral to beat Punk. Take the double. Roman to beat Punk. Randy to beat... Who's he fighting? Rose. That's the double. For any WWE fans. Okay. Yeah, Katie. I think Sloane should be named next week. Will it help them at all?
Well, I think Sloane needs to go into that side. At least he's got pace.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of chinks to his game, but at least he's got speed. That's what they're lacking. I'll be playing Sloane at fullback personally. Will he be named? Probably not, because Shane Flanagan fucking hates Terrell Sloane for whatever reason.
I think Terrell Sloane hates Shane Flanagan.
As well, yeah. Well, that's fair.
Yeah. I have no doubt Tyrell Sloane needs to be in the side. Tyrell Sloane gives them something they don't have, and it's X factor, and it's speed. That's two things he actually gives them. And this is my argument with the Warriors with Lockie Camperera. You need speed, and Tyrell Sloane's got it in bunches, right? And he is someone that can just out of nothing pull something out of his ass. They do not have one player. If it's not Moses Sully running over 4 blokes to make a break, they do not have a player in that back line that you fear. Like Val you're right, his form is poor. And he's probably not that player that does that anymore. Back at Cronulla when he was 21, that's when he was like that. He's not like that anymore. He's got big and he's more robust kind of a centre. To me, Katie, Tyrell Sloane must be named this week. I'd personally name him on the wing, and I'd be naming Val at the back. But I don't care how you get him in the side, you put him in the side. And you cop his error that he'll make and he's lazy, you just got to cop it, right? But he actually might find you some points. And they need points. You can't win footy games without points. So to me, Katie, I've got this feeling he will be named this week. That's my gut saying that.
Yeah, maybe he will as well.
I just think he has to be. I just think
I'd be having him at fullback, just have him on the wing.
Yeah. I'd go him on the wing and Val at fullback. But if Gutho's fullback, which 99.999% will be, I have him on the wing. So I think the winger got suspended too. Farley got suspended for the karate kick thing, so there's a wing spot there. So I'd say that he'll be there. So even if they put him on the wing, when they get into attacking spots, I'd be moving him. I'd be moving Sloane into fullback to attack and moving Gutherson to the wing. So yes, Katie. So I say yes, he'll be in the 17, and yes, it will help them. It will help them find. Well, it might help them find points. I'm going to say it will, but at least there's a chance of finding points. So,
yeah, I agree.
Yeah. All right, let's move on now to Mitch. Is the last fan question we have this week. Have you checked I actually didn't look at the YouTube ones. I don't know if there was any questions there. But
not this week.
No? Okay. How do the Raiders go from minor premiers to 1-4 and the win being against Manly and Golden Point from only really losing one player? Golden Point from Manly.
He means Fogarty. He's losing Fogarty.
Yeah, okay. What are the problems going on there, or was it just their time to strike last year and they're on their used by date? That's a good question, Mitch. I like it. Okay. We did touch on Canberra. You go with Canberra. Yeah,
I think a lot of things went their way last year to finish minor premiers. It's a great effort, outstanding effort to become minor premiers, but I feel like they had a very easy draw. They were winning a lot of games that were in the balance where it just felt like, I don't know, it felt like Canberra were riding this wave last year. There was games where you're like, fuck, how'd they win that game? A few times. And I just think that this year I felt like they were going to get found out. They were going to get a harder draw because they were minor premiers. And I think a lot of blokes were playing out of their skin last year. Kyle Weeks, Strange, where like sometimes those young blokes, they can just think it's going to happen for them every year and not do what they were doing last year that made them a good side, putting in those extra yards, going that extra mile in the games. When you've had success and you're young, I feel like they can get complacency, and that's what we're seeing early in the year, I think.
Yeah, okay. My opinion on Canberra, I agree 100% with you. I think there's plenty of... I just feel that you're looking at it and thinking they look like a side that they just look like it's just going to continue on from last year, and there's probably complacency set in. I think the little subtle changes I mentioned earlier in the show could make I know it doesn't sound much, I think it'll make a huge difference. I think Strange to the left, I think Zach Hosking coming back into the starting side and getting Noah Martin out of there, just to add that little bit more experience on that edge, on that right edge, even though his defence was iffy last week, and I'd be very tempted to bring Tomoko back and find another spot for Sasami. I think you make a few little subtle changes, I think it can help, but really, I can't answer. I think you've hit it. I just think it's complacency. And they overachieved. They really overachieved
100%.
massively. And you're right. Like, from someone that used to tell me the draw doesn't make much difference, the draw made a hell of a difference with Canberra last year.
Yeah, it did, yeah.
You know, I don't think you can argue that. So, to me, Mitch, I think they're one loss away from being gone, and it's this week. I said it earlier, it's now or never for Canberra. If they go 1-5, they're gone. They don't have the side that could go on a run where they win 9 straight.
Yeah.
They just don't. And you named a few blokes, right? And can you name anyone in that side, bar Sasangi, right, that is going better or as good as they were last year? No way Weeks is. Sebastian Chris is going no good. Savage was going reasonably good. I'd give Savage, and he's now out. Stranger's not going as well. Sanders is... forget it. Hudson Young's going... Hudson Young. There's no way Papali's going anywhere near... I don't even think Tapine's going anywhere near as good as he was. I'd be bringing Owen Paddy in too, just to give him something off the bench. A bit of thrust off the bench. You know, Tom Starling?
No, none of them.
None of them. So, you know what? They probably need to look at themselves individually as well. The form they're in.
Definitely, yeah.
There's not one bloke that I would say is going better or as good as they were last year. Bar Hudson Young, because he puts in every week. He's Hudson Young. And Xavier Savage.
He does some dumb shit, but as well.
Xavier Savage?
No, Hudson
Young. But that's Hudson Young, isn't it? But there's no one else.
No
one else that you could say, geez, he's picked up from where he left off last year. You know, so Mitch, I think it's now or never now, and I think what we've pointed out are the reasons where they've got themselves in a real hole. So, all right, let's move on to getting close to closing up the show. I might get you to do the thing that we need to do.
So for all the punters out there, all the mugs out there, no kidding. If you need help for free and confidential support, call the number 1800 858 858 or visit gamblinghelponline.org.au.
Very good. We will put our League 365 podcast bet of the week, and we are due. I might be having a chat with you before you name yours, though, because you've let the team down, really, haven't you, last month?
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll get there. Keep following us, guys. We might give it a really good boost this week, considering we haven't nailed it the last few weeks. All right, the tipping comp, the League 365 podcast betting tipping comp. The weekly winner, Mug Punter, has won because he's used his joker. He scored 10 points. So, Mug, I'll reach out to you, or you reach out to me the next day or two. You've got a $25 bear bet bonus bet coming your way. Now we'll go to the overall scorecard. We have Tadpole still leading the way on 31. She has used her joker, but she's actually now got a 2-point lead. Tadpole is Paula. So well done, Paula. On 29 is Red Devil, which is Pete Rowe. He's also used his joker. And then outright third is King Dewey, and that's a really topical name at the moment, the way Dewey's playing.
Yep.
King Dewey, and he's on 28. So I've actually got clear leader, clear second, clear third. And that's Chris Nicolau, the newly married Chris Nicolau. Flying, by all reports, Chris. And in fourth spot now, and courtesy of his joker this week, is Mug Punter. And he is on 27 points. So our 1, 2, 3, 4 all use their jokers. And then we're going to just quickly go from the people on 26, which is equal fifth, which is Big Rig, which is Lizard 2604. Can I see your tips? And Rabbitoh Rod, all on 26 equal fifth, but Rabbitoh Rod has used his joker, so that's a little bit of a false kinda. Hey?
He's gone.
He's in trouble, Rabbitoh Rod. Awful tips to Rabbitoh Rod. So he's in all sorts of trouble. So that is it, guys. Have we got anything else, Jax? Remember to subscribe, like all our stuff.
Yep.
We've got the round 2 with Josh Schuster coming out. If you haven't seen that, jump on YouTube, have a look at the 9 holes with Josh Schuster. There is some more clips coming out of that day too. There's a chipping comp I think they're doing some stuff with. There was a putting comp we did. That's all going to come out on Insta. So make sure you look at that stuff. Anything else from you, mate?
Nah, that's all. You hit the nail on the head.
Oh, did I take your glory then? Did I?
No glory.
Alright, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Tell all your friends about us. We will be back next week with episode 22 of the League 365 podcast. Enjoy your week.
See you guys.